Hi everyone, my name is Laurence and I'm the Director of AI Innovation in AI Singapore. I would like to firstly thank TigerGraph for inviting me to speak at your TigerGraph Summit. I will share a bit about AI Singapore and the collaboration with TigerGraph. As a background, AI Singapore and TigerGraph signed a MOU to collaborate back in November 2021. This collaboration includes training and certification of our engineers, sharing of expertise, and potentially working on industry projects together. AI Singapore was launched back in 2017, June, so it's nearly 5 years. It is the first of its kind national level program. Our mandate is to build deep capabilities in AI, social and economic impacts, and to grow the local talent and to accelerate the AI ecosystem, and obviously to put Singapore on the world map. There's basically 4 focus areas. We have one group that looks at funding researchers to undertake the latest, greatest in AI research. We have another group, the AI technology group, that helps build Singapore's capability by driving grand challenges, technology challenges, price-based challenges, working closely with both the industry and academia. The 4th group, which is the newest, is in AI governance. They will look into various issues of AI ethics and governance. My group, which is the 3rd group, is all about industry innovation. How do we help the industry to adopt AI, accelerate the adoption of AI, and to grow the AI talent pool here in Singapore? Now let's watch a short video which further explains who we are.
AI Singapore, a national program launched to catalyze, synergize, and boost Singapore's artificial intelligence capabilities.
AI Singapore's vision is to put Singapore in the world map for AI technology. It will actually make our company in Singapore more competitive globally. It will improve the life of Singaporeans by empowering them with AI tools and techniques. We expect to see many startup companies that will create meaningful and interesting jobs for many Singaporeans in Singapore.
AI innovation is a strategic thrust that aims to broaden the use and adoption of artificial intelligence in Singapore. In its 100 Experiments program, companies with a significant industry problem will be matched with AI researchers in Singapore to work on their problem statement. AI Singapore will co-fund up to $250,000 to work on the project. The company is then expected to contribute 1:1 in cash and in kind. Our target is to reach a minimum viable product status within 9 to 18 months. Throughout the 5-year program, we will groom our local talents for the future workforce. AI Singapore has introduced a 9-month, full-time AI Apprenticeship Program, which consists of a hybrid of classroom and online training. And through the 100 Experiments program, the apprentices will also get on-the-job training by working on a real-world AI problem guided by AI Singapore's mentors and 100 researchers. By powering Singapore's efforts in developing deep national capabilities in artificial intelligence, our aim is to create economic and societal impacts, turning Singapore into a world leader in the field of AI.
Let me explain a bit more about the 100E program, as that is one of the key reasons why we are interested in this collaboration with TigerGraph. In the 100E, organizations will approach AI Singapore with a business problem, which they think can be solved by AI. AI Singapore will work closely with the organization to determine whether they have the data sets, whether they have the right manpower that will be able to take over the project when we are done, and so on. And if the committee approves the proposal from the company, AI Singapore will assemble a team of researchers, engineers, and what we call AI apprentices to solve the problem for the company in 7 to 18 months. The in-kind contribution from AI Singapore can be between $180,000 to $250,000. The company is expected to match 1:1 in kind and in cash. The outcome at the end of 7 months or 18 months is an MVP. The company will get a deployable AI solution, trained manpower because their engineers is working closely with your engineers to understand how an AI project is being built, and then later they are the one who will deploy it. And we will have also trained the AI apprentices, a pool of certified AI engineers, which we encourage the company to hire. These AI apprentices will go through a rigorous 9 months of training, 2 months of deep skilling, and 7 months of working on this project. So we use the industry project, the 100E, to train more Singaporeans for an AI role, whether is it a data scientist role, AI engineer, or ML engineer. Over the last 3.5 years that we have run this program, we have trained more than 200 Singaporeans who are in various roles in the industry today. We have engaged more than 500 companies since we started. We have approved more than 90 projects, and more than half of them have already been completed. Our original target was 100 of these AI projects that we need to do by 2023. Because of the success of the 100E program, we have been asked to do another 100 more. So we'll be hopefully completing 200 AI projects by 2026. As you can see in this presentation, we have done projects in nearly every sector here in Singapore. This is just a short snapshot of some of the companies that we have helped with the 100E program. We have helped organizations like IBM Factory here in Singapore, to actually build an AI model to determine which product has a very high chance of RMA. We have helped Sompo Insurance to build a fraud detection module. We have helped GIC, the Government Investment Corp of Singapore, to actually build a tax analytics module that basically classify and rank documents and reports as they come in from all over the world, so that the analyst only needs to focus those that are really, really important. Okay, let's rewind a little bit. My personal journey with Graph database goes all the way back to 2012, it's nearly 10 years ago. I was involved in several startups then, and one of them was a company called 1 Degree North, which from 2012 to about 2014 developed NumaQ, a scale-up in-memory analytics appliance, which integrated Revolution Analytics RevoR back then, and a popular open-source graph database. The NumaQ appliance is actually a CC-NUMA cluster system, which allows us to network, whether it's 4, 8, 16, or 1024 servers into a single image system running one operating system. So it's very different from a HPC cluster like what you know today. We had to go this route because the graph database that we were using could only run in a single server with lots of memory. Anyway, the NumaQ IP was acquired by NumaScale, a Norwegian company, to expand the analytics portfolio in 2014. I will not dive too much into why and the technicalities of a graph database, as you will definitely learn from the real experts in this summit. I would just focus on the 3 reasons that I find that appeals to me the most. 1, graphs are a natural way we humans think and solve business use cases. It does not have the impedance brought about by legacy relational database, what you basically draw on your whiteboard as you brainstorm with your team or your customers can be easily translated into a graph database, nearly 90% of the time unchanged. This speeds up the development cycle tremendously. And it's something that the customers can easily understand. Recall my NumaQ story back in 2012. Me and my team had to work around the single server limits of a popular graph database, which required the use of very specialized CC-NUMA cards to build up a scale-up server so that we could get terabytes of memory using commodity servers. So the second reason why TigerGraph is interesting is because of the distributed cluster architecture of TigerGraph, which means it is very cost-effective because you could use cheap, low-cost server hardware. It's scalable and it's fast, right? And it will then allow us to handle very, very large data sets in some of our 100E projects. Lastly, when I first got to know TigerGraph, AI ML is not an afterthought. The open source AI ML algorithms by TigerGraph is a first-class citizen. Today, from what I've seen, there are more than 50 real-world algorithms which will be very useful for a lot of our 100E projects. Several of our engineers have skilled up on TigerGraph, and we look forward to using it in several 100E projects that we have in our pipeline today. Now, to conclude, I often like to end my presentation with this statement: AI is just maths. Graph database is really based on maths and is therefore a natural complement to many algorithms. AI algorithms powered by graph databases like TigerGraph would lead to fast, scalable, real-world applications and solutions. With this, I end my presentation. I wish everyone a great summit, and thank you.